Welcome to part 5 of this series. In this video, we will manually deploy our application to SAP BTP and Cloud Foundry. We use CLI tools directly in the terminal to build and deploy the MTA Archive. After the deployment, we will open the application in the browser and test it. I will also show common errors and how to solve them, how the URLs for the app and the backend are structured. At the end of the video, the application will be running in the cloud environment. Before we start the deployment, make sure that all node modules are installed. This includes the modules for the apps, the app router, and the MTA project itself. In the video description, you will find a PowerShell core script that installs all required node modules from the project root directory. From the project root folder, we built the MTA archive using the command mtb build. This creates the .mtar file that we need for deployment to Cloud Foundry. After the build is finished, the folder MTA Archives exists in the project root folder. Inside this folder, there should be at least one MTR file. This is the file we will deploy to Cloud Foundry. If you're not already done, we must log in to Cloud Foundry using the ZF CLI tool. We also need to make sure that the correct space is selected. If this is the first login, we must provide the API endpoint. You can find the API endpoint in the overview page of the sub-account in the SAP BTP. We copy this, but copy the address of the link, and then we can log in with ZF login, the URL SSO. For future logins, it's enough to use ZF login SSO. This shows this, and you can open this address and sign in. And then you select the organization, in our case, the demo dev. If you only have one space, it's already selected. Here are some important Cloud Foundry CLI commands. CF orgs list all organizations. CF spaces list all spaces in the current organization. CF target shows the current target. CF target -O, and then the organization, switch the organization, and same is with space. You can switch both together. And CF apps lists all the apps. CF service lists all the services. CF help shows the help page. And CF login we have already seen. And now we use ZF deploy to deployment our MTA project. To deploy the project, we will run command ZF deploy, followed by the path to the MTAR file. The deployment process takes a few minutes. If you have any problems and have fixed them, it may be necessary to specify the delete service parameter during ZF deploy. After the first deployment, it is important to check the output at the end. We need a URL of the app router. You can recognize it because it does not end with SRV. We copy this URL we add in the beginning HTTPS and at the end this. We copy this and we edit the file XSSecurity.json, and in the redirect URIs we add them URL we created before. And write and quit. After that, we repeat the full deployment process with MTP build and CF deploy again. After the deployment, we need the URL of the app router again. We have already copied and pasted into the XSSecurity.json file. Now, we insert this URL in the text file to adapt it to the respective URL for the service and the apps. First, let's look at the service URL. We take the app router URL from the deployment output. Then we need the name of the service. In this example is catalog. You found it in the SRV folder, the CDS file. Here's the catalog service. Here we use only the beginning of the service name, catalog, without service and in lowercase. Lowercase catalog. Next, we need the name of the entity inside the service. In this example, it was books. This time, we use the name exactly as defined in the service. The complete URL structure is https:// then the URL here / OData v4 service name catalog entity name books. We copy this in the clipboard and open it in the browser. And then we can log in and we see the data. The service works fine. Now let's look at the app URL. Here we use the app router URL again, and then we need the app ID. The app ID we found in the app, in this case the Elements app, and here in the folder web app we added the manifest file. We can do the same for the UI5 app. And that is to UI5. The complete URL structure is https:// the URL from the app router, slash app slash the ID of the app slash index HTML. We copy this and open it in the web browser. And the app is running. And the same for the UI5 app to UI5. Copy it, paste it. And there is the UI5 app. I have also described the URL structure in the video description. And now common errors and solutions. If you see this error message when trying to open the app, then most likely the redirect URI was not added to the XS security JSON file. In this case, add the correct redirect URI, rebuild the MTA archive and deploy the project again. If the deployment does not work with this error message, it may be caused by an outdated Cloud Foundry CLI version. With CF version, you should see the version starting with 8. If not, update the Cloud Foundry CLI. Next, check the installed version of the multi-apps plugin. Use CF plugins and you should see the version starting with 3. If the version is lower, uninstall it using CF uninstall plugin multi-apps. Then install the correct version with CF install plugin RCF community multi-apps. If no plugin was installed before, simply install it using the same command. After this, the deployment process should work correctly. If the same problem occurs in SAP Business Application Studio, updating the plugin may help. If an old Cloud Foundry CLI version is installed there, you may need to create a new dev space in Business Application Studio. Sometimes you need to see the backend logs. To do this, we first list the apps with CF apps and search the service app. Then we can display the live logs using CF logs following the name of the service app. And now we receive the logs like in CDS Watch, but that contains more information. I refresh this app and we see logs are received. In this video, we successfully deployed our application to SAP BTP and Cloud Foundry. We opened the app, tested the service, and reviewed the URL structure. In part 6, we will define roles and implement basic access control for the service. This will ensure that only authorized user can access the application and the data. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate a like and a follow.